This podcast is supported by Sanctuary Blu in Conshohocken, PA. Tired of the same old stuff on Amazon? Check out Sanctuary Blu in Conshohocken, PA. Whether you're looking for a stylish outfit for your next girl's night out or handmade unique items, Sanctuary Blu has something special for you. Stop in at 322 Fayette Street in Conshohocken, PA.
You're like, quick, get on the floor. And we used to lay on the floor. We used to lay on the floor behind the checkout counter. And it wasn't because we didn't like our customers. Like, we loved our customers.
Yeah.
We just, the cash register was, like, nothing was open, right? Like, there was nothing that could be.
You're closed for a reason. You're doing inventory.
We're closed for a reason.
Yeah. Welcome to the Big Dane Podcast. I'm your host, Dana Warnock, and in this podcast, find the connection in the weird experiences that we all share. Listen to new episodes on Tuesdays wherever you get your podcasts. Hey friends, let's get weird. In this week's episode, I'm chatting with Libby Broggi from Conshy Consignment. Stay tuned and find out what consignors are truly like, all by their items that they drop off. It can get a little weird. Welcome, Libby.
Hey, thanks for having me. Big fan. I'm excited to be here.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm happy to have you on and get it going.
Yeah.
So, before we get into the episode, just tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from.
Sure. I'm Libby. I own Conshy Consignment. I have for the past 13 years. I started it in Conshohocken on East 8th Avenue. And after 3 years, we transitioned to online. I've since moved out of Conshohocken, but I still spend so much time there because I just can't get away. It is actually absolutely like the heart and soul of my business still.
Oh.
Business is still named Conshy Consignment.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is an all-consuming business that I can't wait to share some of the weird things that happen with you all.
It. Yeah. No, I'm sure it's a lot. I mean, I see you on social media a lot, like trying to get things going. I'm like, wow, that, I mean, that's what happens when it comes, to business, and you gotta keep things moving. Wonderful. So let's get right into it. Let's just take it from the top of, what kind of weird things that have gone on since you've been at, Conshy Consignment.
Yeah, so we always said when we were in the storefront, like, it could be a reality show. We were actually talking with the producer at one point because just the everyday normal occurrences, that the things that go on over the course of a day, people would not believe happen. And, like, if it could happen in the store, it did happen in the store.
Oh my god.
Some of it great, some of it not so great, but so yeah, I mean, so I'm excited to do this because people always ask, what's it like? Or oh, it's my dream to have a consignment or thrift store.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you have no idea.
No,
honey, you have no idea.
They'll have to listen to this episode and then find out.
And then make your decision. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So do you remember, maybe there was a certain day that you recall or, a moment, whether it be when you had the store or,
Yeah.
online?
So, we weren't going to talk about this, but it does come back to this. Like, people would come in. We had customers come in, every day that we got to know. And the one time early on, we had a couch consigned. We did a lot of furniture. And there's this couch sitting in the store for sale. And, people would come in, they'd call it their therapy, like come in every single day after work and like look through every single item. Mm-hmm. And, eventually they would start sitting on the couch. And it was great. Like, we'd be at the register behind the desk, and people would just feel very free to open up. And so we ended up calling it the therapy couch.
Oh,
And
wow.
just those connections were just priceless,
Yeah.
right? Like, it was just a simple couch. I mean, people still, 13 years later, were like, oh, remember the therapy couch?
Get out.
And the friendships, and the heartache and all of that stuff, like, we really got to be a part of people's lives, and learn some things that we didn't want to know. We learned some things that were fascinating, amazing. And
I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the therapy couch was great. And we still do that in a format online today. And I loved that. That was one of my favorites. Just a
Oh,
weird experience, just from a random somebody bringing in. It was the
yeah.
neighbors actually across the street on East 8th Avenue that were selling their couch.
Oh my
That
gosh.
totally transformed,
Yeah.
like, the store, the neighborhood, our relationships. A couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I don't know. Yeah, I guess I hadn't lived here yet. Remind me, what were the years that the store was
It was
here?
like 2012,
Okay, so
2012, around then.
I
Yep.
like just missed it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
So
too bad.
yeah, so I guess
You
paint
could
the
have had
pic.
free
I
therapy.
know. Oh. So I guess take me through. So I'm walking into the store,
Yeah.
and so was the couch like, clearly visible, like to the left or to the right? Where, like, how was it set up that people
It
felt
was the
that
door was on an
they?
angle, and the couch was on an angle to match the door. So it was like right in front of
Oh,
the register. It was right there. And, like, yeah, you learn to know
you just
and
want to
love
sit there.
people. Like, we loved the people across the street that consigned it. Then we
Yeah,
loved the people that we got to know. They come in, somebody brings their things in. It's kind of like an intimate relationship,
yeah,
right? Like, they're maybe have things they love, maybe we're from their family.
yeah,
Um yeah, and you're going through things, right? Like, somebody
yeah.
brings in a consignment, they
Emotional.
might be telling you about it. Maybe it is, we did a couple of states for friends that had passed,
Yeah,
and it was strange, right? Like, it's strange to be they were consignors, and then, they had passed away, and the family wanted us to, sell their items. And it was sweet. It was heartbreaking, of course, but it's also
yeah,
a very sweet position to be in. Like, oh gosh, like, he loved this. Remember
right.
this, we're going to
Oh,
find this a new home,
yeah. Like that's
and
the
it's
goal.
just that's really cool.
Oh,
And the other thing about that, like, it's you might be doing it for somebody that has passed. You might be doing most of our consignors. It wasn't estates. It was people, bringing things in, and you get to know, oh, I have my Aunt Sally's stuff.
right.
Oh, Aunt Sally, really liked gravy, because there's a gravy stain on every
Oh my
tablecloth.
gosh. Yeah,
And
yeah,
you get to know, like, these weird things. Or, oh, I could identify, this is going to be really weird,
yeah.
hopefully not too off-putting,
It's fine.
but I can identify to this day my consignors by the scent of their items.
Oh, interesting.
Like,
Isn't
I could
it?
pick up a sweater
Yeah,
and go, "Oh my gosh, this is Lisa's."
yeah. Isn't it funny? Like, how does that? Or it's kind of similar. Like when you either walk into a store, you walk into someone's house. Like, and if I was blindfolded, I could tell you where I am, and then
Mhm.
somehow, that scent just gets absorbed
Mhm.
into your clothes. Somehow now it's the laundry detergent, even though you bought new detergent. That now
Mhm.
it's its own scent. Like, how does
Yeah.
that happen?
I don't know, but it's hilarious. People laugh at me, like, who's yes, I can absolutely tell. And I think most people that are in the business would probably say the same thing. We
Yeah,
don't talk about it a whole lot,
sure.
but
Yeah. Yeah. um, so I had a quick thought with that couch again. So, um, when you saw some people sitting on it, did you go over and join them to comfort them if they seemed upset, or like how did that like?
Not usually. I mean, we
Yeah.
were usually too busy to sit, but
Yeah.
they would wait for a break or whatever. We were usually, I mean, the register was real close, right? And
Yeah.
the internet sales manager, Molly, she sat at a desk that was real close to that as well. So,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, some of it was just funny. Some of it was, you know what? I had a really bad day at work today,
Yeah.
and they just needed somebody to be there and to listen.
Oh.
And
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
funny what people tell you when their guard is down. I'm like, there's something about consignment or the store that people just feel like they know you and they
like
tell
very
you everything.
trusting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I guess, with it being consignment, it's like I'm giving you stuff that I previously owned like into your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like they're giving you that level of trust to like take care of it and take it from there and
Mm-hmm.
see what happens. So maybe that's where it comes from. But I think also the
Yeah.
placement of the couch, because I think if you had the couch maybe further back or, in a different area, you might not have had as many interactions.
Oh, I think definitely. I mean,
Right?
every time after that initial couch that we would get a couch, we would make sure it was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go back
we
and
would
like
make sure.
fluff the cushions. Like, all right, it's ready for the next session.
I wonder how many couches it actually was through the years. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It was definitely more than one. I remember that initial one. It was blue and white. It had
Uh,
like a pinstripe to it, a
okay.
ticking. It was called ticking. Yeah, I remember it
Oh.
exactly.
Do you have a picture of it?
I don't.
Oh.
Oh, I might somewhere in my archives. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. So, yeah, so you mentioned now, that kind of got shifted, that same idea to online. So, how do people, like, how do you bring it up to the customers now, or consignors rather?
Right. So, I mean, think about that. That was a real challenge that we struggled with for a couple of years. It's
Yeah.
like, we had this really close connection and we had this, couch, or sometimes it was a chair if we didn't have a couch. We had
Yeah.
this really close connection. Now, how do you do that when you're all online? How do you, I mean, we still have relationships with these people, but it's different. And what we came up with, we had a couple iterations, but what we came up with was every Thursday night now we do a live sale, and a lot of our regulars just come on Thursday nights. They, blow off some steam, talk about what they're drinking, talk about what they're snacking on. And I'm like, I already know what you like because you
Yeah.
consigned your no. um, and just try to keep those relationships like that with the live selling, and participating in different fundraising events and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. At least, it's something that people can look forward to weekly
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
have a place, small community that has the same interests and can
Mm-hmm.
just kind of chat amongst themselves while they
Yeah.
buy some new stuff, or maybe
Some just come to
yeah.
hang out, some come to shop.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all about the community. It's not
Mm-hmm.
really about for us, that Thursday night is not about selling things. I mean, we do sell things, but it's just fun and a way to
Yeah.
connect. And so that's why we call our Thursday night sale resale therapy,
Yeah.
and it's BYOC, bring your own couch.
Ah.
So we found ways to kind of
Yeah.
work that
To like
in.
integrate it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
it is tough online because it isn't the same as being in person.
No.
But it's like
Mm-mm.
you do what you can and you make do, and
Yeah.
if people really want to be a part of something, then they will join and shop.
Yeah. We're there
Yeah.
we're there if they want to join.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Taking a break ski here because I wanted to inform you on my newsletter that gets deployed on a monthly basis, so I promise I won't spam you. You'll get the latest upcoming news on the podcast, episode highlights, and some of my favorite podcasts that I enjoy. Sign up today by visiting thebigdanepodcast.com, and the pop-up will prompt you to fill out your info. Again, that's thebigdanepodcast.com. Anything else that, comes to mind, over the years that has happened if, maybe people spotted you in your car?
Yeah. So, all right. The first question people asked me when I was opening the store, and people that are starting this business say, is where do you get your inventory?
Yeah.
All right. First of all, I'm like, just put one post out there, talk to one person, and you won't wonder anymore, because people are desperate to sell their items, right? Desperate. People are anxious to have their items rehomed, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have this stuff. They don't have time. They don't have the energy. They don't want to. Maybe it's too difficult. So people chase you down, right? They will chase you down. So I had these when we went all online. I had these magnets on my car. They said Conshy Consignment.
Oh my gosh.
People would be like, well, why isn't there a phone number on there? I'm like, because if somebody wants to know, they'll find me. So, I've been at a stoplight before, and people are making that, that old school, like, roll your window down motion to me.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what? Like, is my tail light out? Like, is my trunk open?
Yeah.
Like, is there something hanging out of my car?
Like
a
flat tire.
So of course I roll the window down. They're like, do you have a card? I have stuff for you. I'm like, check the website.
Yeah. Go to the website.
And I mean, that's happened several times.
That's
like
wild.
People will just hunt you down. So I did remove the magnets from my car because it was like too much. It just got to be too much, right?
That's crazy.
But before I did, I had one last experience with this. I was going to the dollar store, and I lived like near Allentown. I was going into the dollar store, and I had a woman. I'm in the aisle buying some notebooks or whatever, and she's like behind me, and like you tell when somebody's watching you, right?
Like you get a little feeling.
Yeah, I had that feeling, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe she's interested in what kind of notebooks I'm buying. And she's like, I saw that was your car that pulled into the dollar store, so I wanted to come in because I wanted to talk to you. And I was like,
oh my
gosh. And I'm not thinking about the magnets on the car at this point. I'm just like, And she's like, I really want to consign, are you local? How can I do this? And I'm like, oh, okay. Here's a card. Just go ahead, email us or send us a text. We'll take care of you. And then shortly after that, the magnets were removed from my car.
Yeah.
Just because there's an overabundance of things. Is the point of this story is people will do anything to consign their items.
That's wild. I feel like I wouldn't have guessed that, Are some of these people like all different ages, or would you say like older?
I'm going to say definitely. Oh gosh. Oh, this is a tough one. See, you're asking me these tough questions. So, I'm going to say like 30 and up.
Really?
30 and up. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that includes my age bracket.
There was no real like stereotype for it.
Yeah. I had pictured like my mom or something, like a baby boomer, like, like roll down your window.
Yeah.
All the things. And, just wanting to directly like have a conversation like in real life, like versus let me go on the website, but now I have a question and then I should have asked you, and you go down a rabbit hole.
Well, that was a pretty good assumption. I mean, I didn't want to call your mom out, but
yeah.
No.
I'll tell her to listen to this.
It wasn't her.
She's like,
no, it wasn't.
What are you talking about me again? Oh my gosh. Yeah, because I guess for me, I mean, I wouldn't be like, hey, roll down, like, I don't know.
Yeah, right?
It's not something that I would do. I would probably first go to the website and see if I can find any contact information. And then, you know, try to reach out to you that way.
Yeah.
But
some people like that human to human connection is everything right now as we move like into a more digital, you know, space. That I think even like even younger people are skewing like that. Like people miss it.
Yeah, except for the young folks that don't even know what like a landline is.
Oh, yeah, I know. Don't ask my kids to make a phone call. Don't even ask them to make a phone call. You ask like you ask them like for blood or something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree though. It is nice to have that human connection. So did that person, did you ever like have a conversation later with that woman?
Oh yeah, she's one of my good consignors now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, love her.
Look at that.
Love her.
Weirdo turned into a non-weirdo.
Yeah, she wasn't so weird after all. Yeah, no, she's great. She's awesome.
Aw,
yeah,
that's great. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, of other instances that could go on in a consignment store.
Geez, I mean, there's so many like not everyday experiences that went on. Like we had a stakeout. The cops came and did a stakeout from the store. That was fun.
Oh. What happened?
We don't know to this day. They hid down underneath the window and they waited for somebody to drive past. And then they pretty much like swarm. Police were there, pulled the guy over, got him out of the car, down on the ground.
What?
Yeah, we never knew. We never knew what happened. No.
Was it late at night so you weren't?
No, it was the middle of the day.
It was the middle of the day?
It was the middle of the day, yeah. Like, you had to be ready for anything.
Oh my gosh. You know? Sounds so stressful. Oh my goodness.
It happened so fast, you know.
How did you even figure out that someone was out there? Did you have like cameras?
The detective was in the store.
Oh.
No. They came in the store and used it to hide.
Oh.
Yeah. He ducked down underneath the window and yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
You don't see that happen every day.
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything to you. It was just kind of like, oh, I'm not even here.
Yeah, he's like, just go about your business. We're after somebody. I'm just gonna
be like, do I need to lock the door?
And he may or may not have been a consignor, so we may or may not have known him. I mean, it all comes around, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody consigns, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a little scary.
It wasn't. It wasn't scary.
No, okay.
It was just for us, it was like not that far from an everyday occurrence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, oh, this is just another Tuesday. The consignment.
I mean, all right, here's something we used to do. I probably shouldn't publicize this, but I'm going to talk about it just because you're making me feel so comfortable on the Big Dane podcast that I'm just going to say it. So, you know, we would be closed 1 or 2 days out of the week. It depended. And people would always want to come in and shop, right? Like, I think this goes for all retail. If you've worked retail, you know this. Like, there's always somebody like banging on the door or, you know, oh, let me in. Like, and so we had to do inventory or do intake on the day we were off. I think this particular one was a Monday. Well, actually, this happened way more than one time. So we would be in there working at our desks, and people could see in the window, and they, knock, knock. And the way the street was set up, like you could see whoever was in there. But we figured out that, and they wouldn't give up if they saw you in there. Like they would not give up.
Oh, I'm sure.
So we figured out there was one spot behind the checkout counter that they couldn't see us. So when we saw somebody coming that was going to knock on the door, we used to be like, quick, get on the floor. And we used to lay on the floor. We used to lay on the floor behind the checkout counter. And it wasn't because we didn't like our customers. Like, we loved our customers.
Yeah.
We just, the cash register was, like, nothing was open, right? Like, there was nothing that could be.
You're closed for a reason. You're doing inventory.
We're closed for a reason.
Yeah.
So we'd be like, quick, get on the floor, like.
That's hilarious.
We just, like, lay flat on the floor.
Don't move
a
muscle.
Are they gone yet? we'd be peeking out behind the thing. Are they still there? Have they gone yet?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, was that, one time that happened, or did that happen like?
Oh no, we had a whole routine for it. Yeah.
Be like, all right,
for it.
Jane is here again. Got it.
Here, she looks like she's not going to give up.
Yeah.
Let's.
Wow.
Yeah, we had that was a routine. Yeah. That was a routine occurrence. It usually occurred on a Monday because that was the day we were most usually closed. Yeah, for inventory and everything.
Huh.
Yeah. So anybody that works retail will get that. I had never really worked retail before I opened this store.
I've never worked retail. I tried, I think, probably back in like high school days, but I ended up working at SolidWorks instead.
All right. Well, yeah, that counts.
Okay.
Yeah, I had never really done anything like that before. So like all of these occurrences were new to me, and like learning how to handle that, like it was all totally fresh and new to me. Yeah.
Did you at one point ever have to like go out, like maybe one of like the first instances before you all had a genius idea to just hide under the desk? They'd be like, oh yes, please,
you should know this about me. I don't learn anything the easy way. I prefer to do it the hard way. I prefer to be the nice person that goes out and says, oh, you know what, we're not open right now. Oh, well, can I just look around? Okay, yes, but the register is not open. And then, like,
next thing you know.
Probably the worst part about it was I probably didn't even learn the first time. It was probably like the 10th time. I'm like, no, this is like a disaster. This is, no. Gotta learn the hard way. It's the only way to learn and for it to stick, I think. Yeah.
That's really
funny, that was an evolution. That was an evolution, hiding under the counter.
Oh my gosh. And now, with it being online, is there a time where it's like closed per se, like online, or it's all
not
only,
really,
like, poked around,
right, yeah, like we, I kind of shut things down when I go on vacation. Or the big interruption with being online is my parents happen to live next door.
Oh.
And my mom has accidentally become a hashtag because she interrupts. So we do a lot of videos. And I have another business, and we do a lot of recording and stuff. And, it's not unusual for my mom to just be like, and I'll be like, and she'll be like, but I needed to ask you about the zucchini in the garden. And, like, so she has her whole own new hashtag, the Be Strong Nana, because every time I was like, all right, so I'd cut it out, every time, if it was something, if it was something that was editable, I'm like, Mom, you're on YouTube in front of like 1,000 people right now. And it's live.
Viral.
So yeah. And it's live. So, and she's like, oh, it's great.
Oh, that's great.
Like, okay. That's great.
Great, Libby.
So at some point I stopped. It was like a couple months ago. My daughter and I were making a video, and she just wouldn't stop. So I incorporated her into the video, being like, this is the struggle, like, of my everyday life, is like I can't record a 30-second video. And people just loved it. They were like, this is awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's
so
good.
there's
People are
that
embracing
challenge.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's that challenge.
Okay.
And just the weird thing that people, Rin, you probably find this, you do marketing, people don't respond to what you think they're going to respond to.
Yeah.
Like, I posted in my other business, like, we do a lot of educational content for, like, other consignment store and store owners and things like that. And a lot of really good content, right? That we put a lot of time and energy into. And the thing that goes viral is I posted a picture of my lunch. And I'm like, what lunch? Like, that's what people want. They want my lunch.
It was the zucchini from the garden.
Actually, it was. It totally was. It totally was. Yeah. Oh, who made that? What's in it? Oh, yeah.
Nana made it.
She did. Nana made the zucchini rounds. I can't make this stuff up.
God. We did not plan this. It's coming from my brain. Oh my gosh. No, there's definitely things where I'm like, oh, I thought this was like a great post, and then I don't know. And then like one will really take off, and then the other is just like, So and that's why it's like you try new things, and maybe it's a weird thing or maybe it's not, and you have to test and learn.
Maybe it's your lunch. Maybe it's your lunch.
Throw a lunch
so my
in
other
there.
two co-hosts, the other two owners, were like, what the heck? Like, we just spent like 3 hours making this reel, and you post a picture of your lunch, and that's what gets the hits? Yep.
Yeah. Now we have how many consignors,
Oh my gosh.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Libby, for coming on this evening. It was a lot of fun to hear all about Conshy Consignment and what goes on and what weird things pop up over the years. If people want to get in touch with you or have consignment questions, how would they go about doing so?
Yeah. All right. So first of all, if you've listened to this podcast and you still want to be a consignment seller, kudos, man. You are a strong, strong person. But you can go to consignmentchats.com. That is where we help other people get started or level up in reselling. And cool. If you want to consign, if you want to get into this crazy world and have us rehome your items, you can go to conshyconsignment.com, and it's CONSHY consignment.com.
Love it. Easy. Simple.
And let us know you heard us here on the Big Dane podcast.
Let's hear it. All right. Well, thanks so much, and we'll catch everyone next week. Bye. You made it to the end of the episode. Congratulations. No, but truly, thank you so much for listening, and stay up to date with my podcast by going to my Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok accounts. Interested in being a guest on a future season or know someone that would be a great fit to be a guest? Go to my website, tap on Be a Guest, and fill out the form.